What's going on, guys? My name is Colin Does Pokemon and welcome to my first ever video. Today I'm going to be playing through Pokemon Radical Red, which is a extra hard ROM hack of the game Pokemon Fire Red. To make things harder, I'll be doing a mono type challenge, and the typing I'll be using is the fire type. For those who don't know, Radical Red adds a bunch of extra stuff to make the game more difficult, but also has all Pokemon up to Scarlet and Violet, and also includes a bunch of extra trainer battles for you to take on. And finally, before we start, make sure to comment who your favorite fire Pokemon is. And also, don't forget to subscribe. And without further ado, let's get this started. So we start off our journey the same way every other journey begins, by getting a name and naming our rival. I name myself Colin, of course, and the rival is named Green. We go downstairs and our mom asks what region we want our starter to be from, and I pick Paldea for Fuecoco. So now we fight Green for the first time. He picked the opposite type of us with Squirtle, but luckily he doesn't have any water type moves now, so we just make quick work of him with a couple tackles. Now we need to pick up a few Pokemon to help us out. So first we capture Galarian Ponyta, which is actually a fire fairy type in this game. Then we catch a Houndour, and then we catch a Pansear. Moving on to Radiant Forest, Radical Red adds new rival fights to the game, so we encounter Brendan from Generation 3. We have a lot of help, so this battle shouldn't be too tough. Just like our rival, he starts out with a water type and Corphish, but luckily we're able to take him out pretty easily with Incinerate. He sends out his Generation 3 starter Trico, but we're also able to one-shot that easily. On our way to Pewter City, we pick up a Numble from Diglett's Cave. Before we fight Brock, we have to fight the flying trainer Falkner, who is in the museum. In my opinion, this is the first real battle of Radical Red. He leads off with Rufflet, which almost takes us out with Brick Break, but we kill with Incinerate. We get a couple hits off with Houndour, but eventually get killed. We send out Galarian Ponyta to hit a Will-O-Wisp, which burns him. I checked to see which move has the higher base power, but it doesn't even matter in the end because I get taken out anyways. I swap into Fuecoco to finish the job with a couple of Incinerates. Falkner then sends out his ace Pokemon, which is Wattrel. Wattrel eventually takes out Fuecoco with a couple air slashes. Wattrel and Pansear get into a bit of a stalemate with Wattrel spamming Roost over and over again, but eventually Pansear gets taken out by the air slash, and then I send Numble in to finish it up on Falkner. We then move to the first gym leader Brock, whose rock types are going to be a very hard challenge for us. We start with Numble, who brings him down to Sturdy, but he eventually kills himself with self-destruct. The Onix then takes out the Numble. We send in Galarian Ponyta to hit a Will-O-Wisp and burn him, and then we switch off to Fuecoco to take some hits. Onix and Fuecoco trade hits on each other, but eventually Fuecoco loses the battle. I switch back into Ponyta to finish the job on Onix. He then sends out Archon, who gets burned by Ponyta. I decide to swap in and sacrifice Pansear to the Archon. I then decide to send in Houndour to use 2 Snarls on him to kill him off. And for his Acemon, he sends out Varoom, which is one-shot by Incinerate, which gives us our first badge. Heading off to Mount Moon, we need to upgrade our team a little, so we catch a Fletchling, and we also catch the other Gen 6 Fire-type Litleo. But we also are able to evolve Fuecoco into Crocalor. We also level up our new Fletchling and are able to evolve him into Fletchinder. We make it to Mount Moon, where we're able to pick up a few extra Pokemon. We're able to catch Rolycoly, Slugma, and Torkoal. So now we have to fight the Super Nerd, who is now a double battle. Luckily, he leads off with 2 grass types, who are easy kills for Ponyta and Crocalor. He eventually sends out a Sableye, who tries to stall with Protect, but we end up killing the Thwackey, and he sends out a Bebarrel, who eventually gets taken out, just like the rest of them. Beating the Super Nerd gives us first dibs on the fossil, and of course we take the Helix fossil. As we're about to leave Mount Moon, we get jumped by the Rocket Admin Archer, who leads off with a Glimmet that quickly gets killed by Numble's Magnitude. Houndour falls to the same fate, and then he sends out his ace Pokemon Mightyena, who gets quickly taken out by the Fairy-type Ponyta. On our way to fight Green, we get some evolutions for our Pokemon. Roly-Coly evolves, and Houndour also gets to evolve in Houndoom. Green leads off with a Curly, and we start with Torkoal that sets up the sun. We go for Lava Plume, but he switches into Wartortle that gets burned. Torkoal is able to take out Wartortle with a few body slams, and Green then sends out Pawniard, who almost kills us with a knockoff but gets Lava Plumed. Curly was able to come in and finish the job on Torkoal, but we send out Ponyta, who's able to take out the rest of Green's team with a couple of Flame Wheels. After Nugget Bridge, we're able to pick up 2 Charcadets, who when involved in Armarouge and Ceruledge get access to 2 new hidden abilities. We also pick up a Magby. We're able to go ahead and evolve Charcadet into Ceruledge with the Firestone. Our next gym badge against Misty was pretty tough, but luckily Houndoom has access to Thunderfang and Crunch, who are able to take out Frogadier and Starmie. Floatzel switches out with Flip Turn into Clodsire, which gets taken out with 2 Shadow Claws. Ceruledge and Ponyta both fall to the Floatzel, so I bring out the Torkoal to bring out the Sun to weaken his water moves, and eventually Crocalor is able to take out Misty. After Misty, we get access to Camerupt, which will be helpful against Lieutenant Surge with his ground types, and our MVP so far, Ponyta, is able to evolve into Galarian Rapidash. On the next route, we're able to pick up both Hisuian Growlithe and regular Growlithe, which will both be helpful later on. Heading into the SSN to get the HM Cup, we run into Brendan again, who is a much tougher team this time. We start out with Torkoal to set up the Sun, but he eventually gets put to sleep and taken out by Lunatone. We switch into Ceruledge, who's able to take out the Lunatone, and he switches into Grovyle, who's also taken out by Ceruledge. Ceruledge gets taken out, but we're able to switch into Galarian Rapidash, who can get him down low. And I forget that Houndoom has Sucker Punch, so I kind of sack some Mons here, but Houndoom is able to take out Ledger with a couple of Flame Bursts. We go fight Lieutenant Surge, who leads off with Pincurchin, but he switches to Vikavolt to dodge the Magnitude, but Lava Plume is able to take out Vikavolt. Camerupt gets taken out by Bellibolt, but we're able to switch into Ceruledge, who kills him with 2 Shadow Claws. He then brings out Mega Magnetric, which is pretty scary, but Torkoal is able to come down and get him low. Eventually gets taken out, but Houndoom's able to take him out with a Sucker Punch. Palmot takes out Houndoom, but we switch to Rapidash, who's able to finish him off. He goes for the kill on Pincurchin, but fails, and eventually we switch to Crocalor, who's able to finish the job off with a couple of Flamethrowers and Snarls. After beating Surge, we make our way through the Rock Tunnel, going to Lavender Town, and making our way to Celadon City to fight Erica. Erica should be no problem for our fire types and newly acquired Skeledirge. Erica leads off with a Rillaboom that sets up a grassy terrain, and Torkoal is able to one-shot with a Flamethrower. Hisuian Electrode takes out our Torkoal, but Skeledirge is able to kill him off. She brings in her Venusaur, who she Mega Evolves and kills our Skeledirge. Venusaur has Stick Fet, which gets rid of his Fire-type weakness. Houndoom's able to whittle him down, but Ceruledge is able to come in and finish the job. Meowscarada kills Ceruledge, and I switch in Rapidash. Rapidash almost kills off Meowscarada, but she switches into Shiny Meganium. Meganium takes out Rapidash, but Camerupt is able to Lava Plume both Meganium and Meowscarada to win us our battle. Before heading to the Rocket Hideout, we upgrade our team a little. I hatch a Finnegan, Torchic, and Scorbunny from eggs, and I evolve both forms of Growlithe and Arcanine. I also evolve both the egg starters into Blaziken and Cinderace. Last but not least, I evolve Charcadet into Armarouge with a Sunstone. Before we get access to Team Rocket Hideout, we get challenged to a double battle by a Rocket Grunt. This grunt isn't too tough, but it is fun to try out our new Hisuian Arcanine. While we beat up on this grunt, I will say that this next part of the game is where the challenge really starts to pick up. Most battles from this point on are very difficult, and where the difficulty of this ROM hack increases rapidly. Most battles will take multiple tries, and a lot of strategy going into them. And since we're only using fire types, there's a lot of fun in store for us. After beating him, we're able to go through the hideout and find the leader Giovanni. He leads off with Nidoking that falls to a Flare Blitz from Arcanine. He brings out Kangaskhan, who can Mega Evolve and can quickly get out of hand for our team. I bring out Ceruledge to get a burn on him to lower his attack. I swap to Galarian Rapidash to resist both Crunch and Power Up Punch. We weaken him with Fire Lash, and he eventually takes us out, but he dies to a burn as well. I bring out Arcanine, but he immediately dies to close combat. He tries to set up a Swords Dance, but he gets brought low enough to cause him to switch. Orthworm sets up a substitute for Veluza's hook and setup, but with Bulldoze dropping at speed, Torkoal can get rid of the threat. Infernape gets brought back out and falls to the same fate. Honchkrow comes out and uses Sucker Punch to kill. I try baiting Sucker Punch with Will-O-Wisp, but he hits me with a Drill Peck. And unfortunately, Blaziken falls to the same fate. Armarouge barely survives and is able to sweep the rest of Giovanni's team. With the Silph Scope, we make our way back to Lavender Town, and in this game, the Marowak Ghost is actually replaced with a shiny Alolan Marowak. We make quick work of the grunts, and it lets us save Mr. Fuji. With Mr. Fuji saved, we can head to Saffron City and take down Silphcup. Before we can have our rematch with Giovanni, we have to fight Green. Staraptor U-turns out, leading Jumpluff to get one shot. Green brings out his Blastoise that he'll Mega Evolve. I thought Rapidash would live a hit, but I ended up getting one shot. Ceruledge is able to one-shot with Sharpness Shadow Claw and barely lives the Staraptor after getting it low with Flare Blitz. I bring in Arcanine to take a Brave Bird and Recoil kills off the Staraptor. Darmanitan comes out and kills the Arcanine. He also ends up taking out the Blaziken as well. Armorage is able to come out and live an Earthquake, activating its weakness policy. I misclick and hit Side Shock, but Ceruledge is able to come and finish the job off. Inching closer to Giovanni, we get jumped by Archer and Ariana, but Brendan comes and has our back. With this being a double battle, we're only able to select 3 of our Pokemon, and Brendan gets to select 3 of his as well. Arcanine is able to make quick work of Incineroar, while Brendan takes out the Gothitelle. The duo send out Mega Mawile and Godingo, who quickly fall to Mega Sceptile and Arcanine respectively. Mega Sceptile is very broken in this game, so we're very lucky to have him on our side. Primarina quickly goes away due to Mega Drain, and Arcanine finally gets brought down by Heat Wave. Blaziken with a triple arrows is able to finish the job. We finally reach Giovanni, and I'll be honest, this fight took many attempts due to his ground types. I start by setting up some iron defenses with Torkoal, while also rapid spinning away to the rocks. Garchomp's able to set up a few sword dances, but with his speed weakened with Bulldoze, Rapidash is able to make quick work of him. He brings out Garganacl, who I forget can't be burned, but I'm able to get some damage off of him before I die. My Armorage has the ability Weak Armor and also the item Weakness Policy. I set up with Calm Mind, and he hits me with a Salt Cure, which activates both of my abilities. With his massive buffs, he was able to take out Garganacl and Hippowdon. Even with the increased speed, Excadrill outspeeds us and kills us. I got a lucky burn on Excadrill, taking him out before he gets sweep with Swords Dance. He goes into Kangaskhan, which he Mega Evolves. I hit him with a Head Smash, which does really good damage. He barely lives the Excel Rock, but the Sandstorm takes out his last bit of HP. Torterra is an easy kill with Blaze Kick, defeating Giovanni. With Giovanni down, we can go fight Sabrina and her team full of shinies. Her Indeedee sets Psychic Terrain to spam Expanding Force, while Ceruledge takes out her Hatterene with a Shadow Claw. She Mega Evolves Gardevoir just to fall to a Shadow Claw as well. Indeedee continues to spam Expanding Force, and I bring out Armorage to do the same. Unfortunately, Ceruledge gets taken out, but we're able to switch in Blaziken and weaken the Ursaluna so that we can finish him off. She then sends out Brute Bonnet, who's weakened with a Play Rough, and Indeedee goes down to a Flamethrower. She brings out her final Pokemon, which is Porygon 2. Brute Bonnet is able to go down, and we're able to finish off Porygon 2 as well, getting our 6th badge. Before we can fight Koga, we have a few things to do. First, we get a Centiskorch and fight an H-Trainer who gives us a Mega Stone for it. With this and our new Mega Ring, we're able to finally do Mega Evolution. Going into the Safari Zone, Brendan challenges us to another battle. This fight was pretty simple. Ceruledge, swapping between Bitter Blade and Shadow Claw, was almost able to sweep its entire team. Ceruledge has the ability Sharpness, which boosts any cutting or slashing moves. With this and Bitter Blade healing us every time we use it, this was a quick battle. Sadly, Ceruledge died to Crawdont from an Aqua Jet, and so did Blaziken and Rapidash, but I send out Centiskorch and Mega Evolve and finish him off with a Bug-type move. Before we can fight Koga, we have to refight the first 3 gems, which I did in reverse order. Surge leads off with an Iron Treads, which I get on the Focus Sash for the Flamethrower. Knowing he's going to Earthquake, I switch out to Arcanine, who's holding an Air Balloon, and I finish off Iron Treads. Iron Hands comes out next, who is burned by Flare Blitz, which drops his attack, allowing me to take him out the next turn. Surge then brings out Magnetric, which he Mega Evolves, and I weaken with Excel Rock before getting killed off. I bring out Ceruledge, who gets hit with the Volt Switch, and we hit the Rhythm Wash with the Bitter Blade. I then swap into Torkoal to bring out the Sun, and Torkoal gets taken out with a single Hydro Pump. I bring out Ceruledge, who uses Bitter Blade, but he gets swapped into Magnetric, which one-shots him. Surge then brings in Palmot, which is almost one hit with Bitter Blade, but he survives a little HP. Ceruledge finally gets brought down, but I swap into Rapidash, who's able to outspeed and take out the Palmot. His next Pokemon is Bellibolt, which I hit with a Will-O-Wisp. I don't remember which moves have a higher base set total, so I check in the description, but I decide on hitting Fire Lash to lower the defense. I bring out Blaziken, who's able to finish off Bellibolt with triple arrows, and he does the same thing to Rhythm Wash. Next, we rematch Misty, who leads with a Palafin. I lead with a Torkoal to get rid of the rain, and he goes into a Gyarados. Misty Mega Evolves her Gyarados, and she's able to hit a few crits on me with Waterfall. Luckily, I was able to finish him off with one Body Press. She brings out Gorbis, who's able to kill off her Torkoal with a Surf. I decide to bring in Blaziken, who's able to hit the Gorbis with a Thunder Punch, but the Gorbis sets up a Shell Smash. Blaziken's able to survive a Moonblast from Gorbis and finish her off. Mitzi swaps into her hero mode Palafin, who's able to take out our Blaziken with Jet Punch and also the Rapidash. Ceruledge barely survives, and we're able to take him out with a crit Shadow Claw, though she's able to send out Kingdra, who's able to snipe shot us to kill us. I bring out Cinescorch and Mega Evolve, and I'm able to kill off the Kingdra with 2 lunges. Missy brings out Archaludon, who I'm able to get low with a Burn Up, but she finishes me off with a Dragon Pulse. At this point, all that I have left is Arcanine, but Arcanine is able to kill Archaludon with a Flare Blitz, and he's able to do the same to Ferrothorn. I decide I definitely need a counter to Brock's Rock types, so I get a Scovillain. Brock leads off with a Great Tusk, and just like with Misty, we get rid of the weather with Drought. In the sun, Scovillain's able to outspeed and kill off the Great Tusk in one hit. I swap into Rapidash to absorb the Fire type move, but Rapidash dies quickly anyways. I then switch in Blaziken, who's able to get revenge with the triple arrows. Brock then sends out Aerodactyl, who he Mega Evolves, and I Detect to get a speed boost off. I hit him with a Thunder Punch, and he decides to use Dragon Dance. I use Detect to get off another speed boost so I can outspeed him next turn and kill him with a Thunder Punch. Blood Moon Ursaluna comes up, who I'm able to get low with a triple arrows, and he finishes me off with Earth Power. I bring out Cinescorch, who I Mega Evolve, and kill him off with a Lunge. He brings out Tyranitar, who I also use Lunge on, but for some reason he Dragon Dances and gets killed. For his final Pokemon, he brings out Omastar. I use Coil and he uses Shell Smash. Omastar outspeeds and kills off the Cinescorch. I then bring out Arcanine, who suffers the same fate as him. I then bring out Torkoal to set the sun for the Scovillain. Torkoal gets finished off, but Scovillain's able to come out, outspeed, and kill with a Solar Beam. Now we can finally fight Koga. He has a team of very fast Pokemon, and he leads off with a Swallow, who I can easily take with a Head Smash. Arcanine doesn't last long before getting knocked out from a Liquidation. I swap into Blaziken, and I use Detect to get a speed boost off, and I'm able to finish off the Iron Valiant with 2 Blaze Kicks. His next Pokemon is Toxtricity, and he actually has his Dynamax form as a Mega Evolution in this game. I get him to about half, but die to Boom Burst. I use Torkoal to bring out the sun, so Scovillain can come in and knock out the Toxtricity with a Flamethrower. Koga then swaps into Excelgor, which gets taken out with an Overheat. He then swaps into Greninja, which gets knocked down low with a Solar Beam, and then gets finished off with a Solar Beam next turn. His final Pokemon, Drapion, gets brought in, and he kills me off with a Wicked Blow. I'm able to bring in Rapidash, who's able to kill him off with a Fire Lash. Before Blaine, we run into May, who wants to battle. She leads her Solrock, which instantly takes out our Arcanine. I swap into Torkoal to bring out the sun, and I also use Iron Defense to set up on him. May takes out Solrock, and she brings in Blaziken, who she Mega Evolves, and I bring him down to 1 HP with a Body Press. She tries to hit me with a close combat, but Torkoal takes her out with a Body Press. Solrock comes in and gets low due to the Body Press, Flygon comes in as well and gets low, and dies to his own Life Orb. I swap into Blaziken, who I'm able to use Attack to get a Speed Boost off, and he actually lives with 1 HP on this Thunderbolt, so he's able to take him out next turn with a Triple Arrows. She then brings out Relicanth, who barely lives the Triple Arrows, and she takes out Blaziken. I switch into Scovillain, and she switches out the Breloom, who takes out the Scovillain. Rapidash is able to kill lesser Pokemon with Play Rough, and after we beat May, we're able to get the Blazikenite to Mega Evolve our Blaziken. We can now fight Blaine, who leads off with a Shiny Armourouge. Arcanine's able to take him down low with a Head Smash, and we're able to finish him with an Accelerock. He brings out Ogerpon, who I'm able to get low with an Accelerock as well. Next, I send out Blaziken, who we're finally able to Mega Evolve. I use Detect for the speed boost and kill him off with the Triple Arrows. Blaine then brings out his Charizard, who he Mega Evolves. I get another Detect off, and get him low with a Thunder Punch. He kills him with an Air Slash, so I switch to Rapidash. Blaine decides to take out his Mega Charizard into Typhlosion. I start to hit him with a couple of Play Roughs, and eventually they're able to take him out. He then brings in a Slitherwing, who also gets taken out by Play Rough. Rapidash keeps putting in work and one-shots the Executor with a Fire Lash. And finally we get our 7th badge by taking out Charizard with Rapidash as well. I go to fight the 8th gym, but Brendan stops us and brings us to Cerulean Cave to take out Team Rocket. Giovanni's trying to capture Mewtwo and use him for world domination. Heading to where Giovanni is, we had to fight Ariana and Archer in back-to-back battles with no rest between. First, we fight Archer, who leads off with a Mamoswine, who Arcanine is able to take out with 2 Flare Blitzes. His next Pokemon is Mimikyu, who has the Disguise ability, so we have to break that first, and then after that, another Head Smash is able to kill him off. He then brings out Houndoom, who Mega Evolves, and we're able to get him low with Excel Rock. I bring out Blaziken and Mega, which can take out Houndoom with a close combat. Finally, his last Pokemon is Durant, who I'm able to kill off with a Flare Blitz after I detect. Now we have to fight Ariana, who leads off with a Hatterene. A single Shadow Claw is able to take out Hatterene, and she leads into Honchkrow, who gets one shot by a Bitter Blade. Her next Pokemon is Rhyperior, so I decide to send in Torkoal to set up the sun for Scovillain. Luckily, I have an air balloon on Scovillain, so I'm able to switch him for free and kill him with a Solar Beam. Her final Pokemon is Mawile, who she Mega Evolves, and I'm able to one-shot her with the Overheat. Ariana Archer tells us to go defeat Giovanni, and we find them finally catching Mewtwo. But luckily, we get back up in the help of Lance. Giovanni leads with a Scrafty and a Tapu Lele, who sets the Sacred Terrain. Dragapult is able to one-shot the Tapu, and Torkoal is able to lower the Scrafty. Mewtwo comes in, and I try to burn him with Will-O-Wisp, but he kills me off with Expanding Force before I can. The sun is still out, so I send out Scovillain. I hit Mewtwo with a Overheat, but after he dies, he Mega Evolves in a Mega Mewtwo Y. Expanding Force kills Scovillain, but Dialga is able to take out Scrafty. I bring Blaziken in, who I Mega Evolve, and I use Detect, while Dialga brings Excadrill down to 1 HP. Mega Blaziken one-shots Mewtwo with a Flare Blitz, and Lance finishes off Excadrill. Giovanni sends out his final two Pokemon, which are Tyranitar and Celesteela. Dialga body presses the Tyranitar low and takes some hits. Blaziken one-shots Celesteela with Flare Blitz, and Dialga finishes off Tyranitar, finally ruining Team Rocket's plans. The final gym leader is now Claire, who leads off with an Aerodactyl. I almost take the Aerodactyl out with 2 body presses, but then she switches into Dragonite. I'm taunted, so I have to body press, and then I Will-O-Wisp the next turn after it wears off. He's setting up Dragon Dances, so I set up Iron Defenses. My defenses are raised up so high he does very little damage, so I'm able to kill him off with a single body press. She brings out Gouging Fire, who also tries to set up a Dragon Dance, but it gets taken out with 2 body presses as well. Naganadel comes out and takes out Torkoal with a Draco Meteor. I swap into Ceruledge, who's able to take a Draco Meteor and take him out with a Shadow Claw. I swap into Rapidash as a sacrifice and get killed off with the Earthquake. I bring in Blaziken and Mega Evolve and Detect for a speed boost and kill him off with a single close combat. She brings back an Aerodactyl, who gets killed by Thunder Punch, and her final Pokemon is Magearna, and I one-shot her with a Flare Blitz, getting us our final badge. With our final badge in hand, we head towards Victory Road. Heading to Victory Road, we bump into Green. He leads with Staraptor, who has all physical moves, so I burn him with a Will-O-Wisp. I set up a Iron Defense with Torkoal and then knock him out with a Body Press. He then sends out Azumarill, who I also hit with a Will-O-Wisp. With Torkoal dead, I switch off to Scovillain, who's able to finish off Azumarill with a Solar Beam. Green then sends out an Iron Moth, so I switch out into Arcanine. Arcanine eats the Fiery Dance from Iron Moth, and I'm able to hit smash him for the kill. He then brings out Blastoise, who he Mega Evolves and hits me with a Dark Pulse. I live with 1 HP and able to finish him with Head Smash. Kingambit comes out and takes me out with a Sucker Punch. I bring out Blaziken, who I use the tech to get a speed boost, and then even with the berry, close combat is able to take him out. His final Pokemon is Sneasler, who lives with a Focus Sash, but I'm able to send out Ceruledge, who's able to finish off the job on Green. And of course, on our way to Victory Road, we run into our other rival, Brendan. Brendan leads off with a Deoxys, and of course I lead with Torkoal to set the sun. Torkoal is able to live a Psychic, and I hit him with a Will-O-Wisp to burn him. I then decide to switch into Arcanine, who takes the Ice Beam, and I finish him off with a Head Smash. Next, he brings out Landorus, who I should have Excel Rock, but I get killed by Sludge Wave. I thought Ceruledge could live a hit, but I get one shot by Earth Power. I swap into Blaziken, who I use Detect to get a speed boost off, and I'm able to one-shot him with Flare Blitz thanks to a crit. Jirachi comes out just to fall to a Flare Blitz as well. Galarian Zapdos comes out, who I luckily get the paralysis on him, and I'm able to finish him off with a Thunder Punch. He then brings out a Huntail, who I bring low with a Thunder Punch, but he kills me with a Liquidation. I bring Torkoal out to set the sun for Scovillain, and he's able to kill the Huntail with a Solar Beam. He brings his final Pokemon out, which is Siptile, who Mega Evolves, and I kill him off with the Overheat. We got our way through Victory Road and arrived at the Indigo Plateau. Finally, on to the Elite Four. Our first hurdle is against Lorelei, who to make things harder is using her Rain Team. I lead with Blaziken and Rapidash, who use Protect and Will-O-Wisp to burn the Ogerpon. Rapidash gets brought down, so I bring out Torkoal to get rid of the rain. I decide to use Protect on Torkoal and Flare Blitz on Blaziken to take out the Ogerpon. Lorelei brings out her Primal Kyogre, which has the ability Primordial Sea, which means that as long as it's on the field, we cannot set up the sun to weaken her water-type moves. I use Thunder Punch on Blaziken and Shadow Claw on Ceruledge to take out the Kyogre. With the Primordial Sea no longer being in effect, I can bring out Torkoal to set up the sun again. So now with the sun up, I can Solar Blade the Politoed to take it out. Lorelei brings out Walking Wake, who has the ability Photosynthesis, which will mean that with our sun out, it will get higher special attack. Walking Wake is able to kill off the Torkoal, but Ceruledge is able to hit a Shadow Claw to get it weakened. With the sun out, Scovillain is able to outspeed the Walking Wake and take it out with a Solar Beam. Ceruledge barely lives, but is able to take Iron Bundle down to 1 HP. Mega Swampert gets brought out but gets hit with a 8x Solar Beam and says goodbye. Finally, Arcanine can come out, hit an Excel Rock, and move us on to Bruno. Bruno leads with a Shiny Infernape, and I lead with Mega Blaziken. I bring him down to his Focus Sash, and before he falls, he taunts Blaziken. Bruno brings out an Iron Valiant, and she's able to take 2 Flare Blitzes before falling. Next, Bruno brings out a Komodo, which takes a close combat but ends Blaziken with a Flash Cannon. Torkoal comes out to set the sun and body presses the Komodo back to the Pokeball. Urshifu comes out and quickly ends the Torkoal with a Wicked Blow. Scovillain is able to outspeed in the sun, and I think I'm going to kill him, but I end up getting Sucker Punched. I bring out Arcanine to kill off with Excel Rock, but he barely lives and Arcanine falls. Rapidash comes out and finishes off what Arcanine couldn't. Bruno brings out a Shiny Zacian, which is able to make quick work of my Rapidash. I bring in Ceruledge, who's able to take a Wild Charge and finish off Zacian with a Bitter Blade. Mega Lucario comes out and he suffers the same fate. Moving on to Agatha, I lead off with Torkoal to set the sun and she leads off with her Gengar. I press Flamethrower, but it's actually just a Hisuian Zoroark, and I use another Flamethrower to take him out. Now she sends out the real Gengar and Mega Evolves to take out the Torkoal. With Scovillain in the sun, he's able to outspeed and one-shot with Overheat. Agatha sends out the legendary Goldfish Chiyu and takes out my Scovillain. I bring in Rapidash to hit a Play Rough, which doesn't take him out, but another one does the job. She brings out a Roaring Moon, who gets a boost in our sun. I check some members of my team to see what I want to do, but I decide to leave Rapidash in to die. I finally decide to switch out the Blaziken and Mega Evolve. I protect to get a speed boost off, and Mega Blaziken is able to close combat and finish Roaring Moon. She switches into Marsh Shadow, and I continue to protect to raise my speed. But with a combination of getting hit and taking recoil damage, Marsh Shadow is able to finish me with a Shadow Sneak. Arcanine's able to come in and get an easy kill with Excel Rock, and take out the Goldingo. Finally, moving on to the last member of the Elite Four, Lance, he leads off with the Garchomp, who sets rocks, but eventually falls to Play Rough. Lance brings out a Dialga, who quickly takes care of Rapidash. I don't know who to send out here, but I eventually decide to send out Ceruledge. Dialga uses Rest to take advantage of Sleep Talk, but eventually falls to 2 Bitter Blades. He brings out a Dragonite, who Dragon Dances, and eventually Earthquakes me for the kill. I bring out Torkoal, and we both start to set up on each other. We continue trading stat buffs, but as soon as Dragonite's able to start attacking, he cannot nearly do enough damage to me. Once I get to max defense, I'm able to start hitting him with some body presses. Finally, body press is able to finish him off, and he sends in a Salamence. Lance Mega evolves a Salamence and starts setting up with Dragon Dances as well. But with a max buff Torkoal, the Dragon Dances aren't going to be enough, and Torkoal finishes him off with a body press. He brings out a Melmetal, who eventually ends up suffering the same fate as Salamence and Dragonite. I protect to try to get enough HP to live, but Iron Jigglypuff takes me out. I decide to bring out Arcanine, who's able to get some quick damage with Excel Rock, but eventually dies as well. I think Scovillain can take a hit, but he can't and dies. I protect to get a speed boost off and hit a Flare Blitz to kill him off, and that moves us on to the champion. Green has a crazy team with 4 legendaries, a Mega Pseudo Legendary, and a Ditto. He leads off with Pheromosa, and I lead off with Ceruledge. I Will-O-Wisp because I know she has a Focus Sash, and Bitter Blade is able to finish her off. He brings out Eternatus, who's able to absolutely destroy Ceruledge. Arcanine comes out, who's able to weaken him down with Earthquake. I get really lucky here and live with 6 HP to finish him off with an Earthquake. He brings out a Ditto, who's able to transform into Arcanine, but I switch to a Torkoal to set up the sun. I want to keep Torkoal alive, so I switch to Rapidash, but he switched to Yveltal. Yveltal barely lives 2 Play Roughs and takes out our Rapidash. With 6 HP, Arcanine is able to come in and Excel Rock the Yveltal for the kill. He brings out Ditto again, who's able to transform into Arcanine and take him out. I bring in Blaziken, but he switches out to Koraidon. I protect to get a speed boost off. I hit him with a close combat that gets him low, but he finishes me with a Collision Course. I bring out Torkoal and start alternating between protects and iron defenses. I'm able to live some big hits and raise my defense enough to be able to hit a body press and finish him off. Green brings out a Metagross who he Mega Evolves, but I protect to gain a little bit of health back. I live a Meteor Mash and hit body press, but he barely lives. I almost finish him off, but he ends up switching out to Ditto, who's able to transform into Torkoal, and then he takes me out. Luckily I have the sun up, so Scovillain is able to outspeed everything and finish everybody off, winning us the game. We are finally the champion of the Kanto region with our team of only Fire-type Pokemon. If you want to do a Mono-type challenge, I think this is a great place to start, as you have access to very strong Pokemon, and also fan-favorite Pokemon at that. I plan to post other Mono-type challenges in Radical Red, so if you have any ideas for me on what you want me to do next, let me know in the comments below. If you made it this far into the video, it would mean the world to me if you liked and subscribed, as I'm a new channel, and I'm very excited to make a lot of content for you guys in the future. So see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.